From the Depth Instant Tutorial.
You're watching From the Depth Instant Tutorial, and it's high time we test the damage patterns of missiles. Our target is a chunky boy as normal, so to balance things out we will use large missiles for this test. So because this is just a damage test, we will use no guidance and short range thrusters. The only thing we will change during the different tests is the payload. This first test is a simple kinetic missile. It has reinforced bodies through and through, even the tip is just a reinforced body. We will slow down time and fire the missile. Well, that's some impressive kinetic damage indeed, just in reinforced bodies through and through. So you may have noticed they added thumper heads to the missile, so we will change the front reinforced body with the thumper head and see how this changes the damage pattern. So the damage for this armor looks identical. So basically, if you have a reinforced body in the front, you will get a higher turn rate, so your missile will be more agile. If you instead have a thumper head, the missile will be a little less agile, but it will be faster, and that should do more theoretical damage. So thumper head is the absolute choice for dump missiles that won't steer themselves to the target. Next out, we will try an EMP missile. This one is EMP through and through, and this we will fire against the target with some additional detection system to make them go fried. And they got fried indeed. And the impact of the missile did some thump damage there as well. And it even continued to fry the entire backside of this thing. So that EMP surge was quite powerful indeed. As we can see, it just went back here and just ate away all those blocks inside of here. So EMP can be a way to pack a lot of EMP into a missile here. And of course, if this for some weird reason would be a, well, dumbfire missile, you can combine this with impact damage like thumper heads and stuff like that. I just added one there, and you can see the little hole it did, a little extra hole there. Here we have a frag missile. It's frag through and through, and the frag cone is the default 60 degrees. This is what you will have for a cone if you don't change anything, it will be 60 degrees. So let's see here, missile incoming. And we can see the frag spread and did quite some damage at the surface of this armor. Very nice damage. We will now go in and change the frag cone to just 2 degrees. We'll need to do this for each of these warheads. And there you can see that frag got spawned here and went through the entire piece of armor. So this is a setup you can use if you want to have missiles that just make a hole through the enemy. So what you can do is you can make the frags be 1 degree, 3 of them, and then the others can be a little wider like this, and it will do another damage pattern entirely. Kinda smart. This is the explosive warhead missile. It's one of the most popular ones around, so let's look at the type of damage this bad boy does. Incoming. Bam! And there we have a big explosion, and a big chunk of the front of the armor is just gone. Most likely, or not very heavily, armor target at least would have done substantial damage to them. But of course, against thick armor it only does surface damage, and explosive isn't the most strongest thing against thick armor, like heavy armor. Heavy armor, the block here, of course, it boosts the block in front of them, so they are kind of strong and resistant to explosions. So we just threw another one at it here, and you see that it still holds up pretty strongly. And because of that, there is also a variant of the high explosive, and that is you go in here and you select to have a shaped charge head. And it has a little slider here that has penetration factor, a balance between fragment count and penetration metric. So we will test the default first, which is 0.5, and the lowest you can go there. It also looks much more intimidating now. Slow down the time and fire the missile. And there we can see we got a nice penetration through the entire craft. Then we definitely need to go and change the penetration factor to 1 instead, which is the maximum you can go. And just check the damage in normal time. So there we can see the damage pattern was more straight this time, but it did similar damage. And with many different modules, we can of course do a lot of different interesting setups and combinations. So I usually have a little bit of EMP on most of my missiles, because EMP can do some nice damage. And why not have some frag in there to get more surface damage? So let's try this shaped charge with warheads behind it and EMP and frag combo. It looks like an abomination. And there we go, a missile incoming there, and oh no, the EMP got back at us. Here is where it's smart to drag out the penetration factor if we can dedicate the whole thing to do some good penetration, like that. And we can try this again with more frag and a little less EMP and see what happens. Slow motion. Bam! Very nice damage there indeed. So you can see that backside basically just annihilated. We got a beautiful hole here, we got some good surface armor, but still deep penetration, and EMP leaked through and is frying the components behind. Amazing. Well, you can see that this combination would have done some nice setup, combo setup, went through some good heavy armor here, so we would have a chance to damage internal components, also some surface damage to slowly tear down the enemy's HP, which might be necessary if it's well built, and also frying some EMP inside of it if the enemy craft has forgotten to do proper EMP protection. And of course the combinations you can make are absolutely countless, but now you got an understanding of what different types of parameters you can play with and combine them together to make an effective missile. Remember that you want to have some penetration if you need to hurt internal components, but a regular nice high explosive can just blow the entire thing up. Also, the thumper missiles and the like kinetic missiles, they may look a little bit stupid to you, but as you probably noticed from the stats, they have much higher health, so they might actually survive the enemy's anti-missile systems. Well, in any case, this has been Jimadism from the depth instant tutorials, and you should subscribe for future videos because we'll be back. This is your host Jimadism, signing out.